Welcome to The Closing Room, brought to you by Capital Title Insurance Agency. The Closing Room is an interview show where our guests are other professionals in the real estate services industries who all have the same goal: help the customer get to the closing room. I'm your host, Tom Lico, and my co-host today is the Director of Sales and Marketing for Capital Title, Lisa R. Hey, Lisa, thanks again for being my co-host. I trust all is well in your world.
Everything's great. It's a pleasure to be here.
We took a little hiatus. I went to Florida for a couple of weeks, and then we had the Real Estate One convention, and now we're back to our regularly scheduled programming. So today we're going to be talking about home staging. And so we found a former Real Estate One manager who had relocated out of state, but owns her own staging company. So our show is half education, a little bit of half reunion. So let's introduce today's guest.
Great. Well, today's guest was in management with the Real Estate One Family of Companies for 29 years. Over 4 years ago, she and her husband did what most people in Michigan would love to do, which is move to Florida. So she took her real estate experience and her 15 years of staging and redesign experience, and she opened InStyle Home Interiors, where she is the owner, chief creative officer, and designer. InStyle provides home staging, redesign services, and quality training programs to aspiring students who wish to pursue a decorating career. She inspires her students to create exceptional spaces that will appeal to potential buyers and to create style magic for homeowners. Join us in welcoming owner and designer, Diane Howard.
Welcome, Diane, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Tom. I'm glad to be with you.
And it's great to see you again. If we could just recap for this, like I said, a little bit of a reunion show here. You were with Real Estate One for 29 years, right? And then, okay. And what were you doing most recently before you left? You were working in corporate office, right?
Yeah, I was. I managed the relocation division and oversaw broker-to-broker business, home services, right. Relocation management, our holding company. Yeah,
had a lot going on.
I enjoyed working there.
And then years of managing branch offices too. So
right. Yep. Did that for 10 years, 3 different offices.
Well, now we want to talk about staging. And, I often hear a realtor recommending that a seller hire a home staging service. What are some of the reasons why a realtor would suggest this?
Realtors normally explain to the homeowner that staging is a marketing tool. And you want to give your very best when you hit the market. And I know it's emotional for some sellers, but our goal then is to attract the buyer. We want to look good to the buyer so that it brings out that emotion in them to purchase the property. So using it as a marketing tool is beneficial to the seller and can lead to a higher value.
Is that a difficult sell to the homeowner in terms of they're thinking dollars or?
It can be, Lisa. So good to see you too.
You too.
It can be a difficult sell because in the market that we're in right now, homes are selling very quickly, right? Mm-hmm. So the owner is thinking, well, why do I need to really do more than necessary in order to move the property? Because homes are selling quickly. And as a stager, we look at it in a different way. We want you to show your home at its best so that it will bring maximum dollar, not necessarily sell quicker. We want it to sell in a normal time frame. And if that happens to be faster than normal, that's okay. But we want you to bring the best value. And to do that, you need to show well, right? You want to enhance spaces. You want it to be fresh and clean, decluttered, depersonalized, all of that good stuff. And if you can accomplish that, then hopefully you'll bring a higher value in your sale.
I know the market's really hot in that 350 and below, or even maybe under 500,000. But really, looking in that above 500 to $1 million, that seems to be a little bit more of a traditional market. I was online last night just trying to look at that higher end and saw some houses in the 750 to 800 range that had been listed for 200 days, 250 days, 7-8 months. And I kind of saw like 3 different categories. They're either vacant, which I think is very unappealing, right? There's no connection. Then there was sloppy. And then there was just poor taste. And it seems,
Yes.
and it's like, okay, I think I see why this is sitting a while, especially a vacant one, this beautiful $850,000 home, but it was empty. So I'm kind of looking on the online going, okay, is that the living room? Is that a dining room? You know, you can't even picture it. If you have someone that is maybe too much sloppy or poor taste, do you have people like put their things in storage so you can stage it and you bring in new stuff?
Yes. If possible, I try to use what is there. You know, what's a lot of fun is blending some of the traditional furniture with newer, more modern or trending furniture. But if it will not present well, you know, if it's tired and worn, you know, you think of shop worn when you look at retail clothing, it's the same thing with furniture. So if possible, if we can bring in newer furnishings, and I typically use one of the furniture rental companies, and I will plan out the entire room with furniture and artwork and accessories. And that gives the buyer a full look of how they can live in that space. And that to me is more valuable even than combining things, because most people can't visualize how to put that antique item with something more modern, you know. So it's a much cleaner look. It's like walking into a builder's model, you know, where everything is fresh and new and trending with the newest colors and fabrics and materials. And so that's a better look, but it is fun to blend some things together too. It shows how you can live in that space when you're bringing, you know, grandma's dresser or, you know, chair. And so it's nice to incorporate those things as well.
I've heard a lot about virtual staging. Is virtual staging just as effective as physical staging?
It can be when you're shopping online, right? So virtual is setting up the room using furniture through a software application where you're bringing in furniture pieces that are available. And hopefully they're more modern looking pieces that are trending today. The goal is to attract the attention of the buyer online so that they'll want to see that property, right? Everyone is looking online at property and they're making their list and deciding what they want to take a look at. So if you can capture that person and create an appeal online through virtual staging, that's a good thing to do. The disappointment is when you get to the property, you have to remember that virtual stage, right? How the furniture was placed in the room. And of course, we're limited with what we can do in virtual staging because you can't mislead anyone. So you can't hide things that are there. You can't bring in things that are not really there.
Can't put in a fireplace.
Exactly. Don't put a fireplace in. You have to work with the space that's there. Now, many stagers, and I've done this too, will create a large board. So once we create the virtual stage, then we're going to take those pictures, incorporate them into a poster board, and then leave that board in the house. So now when a buyer's coming through, they can say, oh yeah, I remember what this one looked like online. Now I can see what it looks like on a board and I can visualize how my furniture would fit there. But I have to tell you, there's nothing like walking through the space that's already been designed. Already been staged, because now you're feeling, you know, the walkways and how the furniture pieces fit in the space. And then that gives you a better idea of how you can use your furniture in that same space.
Right. How long does that process take, the virtual staging? You know, because you got to go through each room, I guess. How long does that take?
Virtual staging can take usually 2 days. I have a support system for that. I have a partner that does it. And so normally she can turn it around in 2 days. Sometimes if the pictures are not good, because it's all based on the pictures that you are submitting. And taking pictures takes time. And of course you want to make sure that you're getting a proper angle, that it's not leaning, you know, that you're getting the greater percentage of that room so that they have walls to work with, right? If you get more of a window than you're getting wall space, then they may not be able to judge how to place furniture. And you also need floor space too, because they have to be able to set that image on top of the floor, right? So it's an overlay process. and they have to have good pictures in order to accomplish that.
Do the rooms have to be empty then for virtual staging?
Yes, they should be. You can have items in there and you can stage around those items. It's a little trickier to do that. It's much easier to virtually stage a room that's empty.
Yeah. But again, going back to looking at these $800,000 homes last night that were empty, that have been on for 7-8 months, I can't feel like, boy, there's a candidate. There's someone who they need some help. They got to create that emotional attachment, or connection.
Yes. That's one of the, when I'm looking for business, I look online for homes that have been sitting for a while, and I'll send a message or something to the listing agent to see if the owner is open to staging. Right. Even if you just do primary rooms, your living room, your kitchen gathering area, your master bedroom and bath, those are rooms that are attractive to buyers today. They want to make sure that those spaces are conducive to their lifestyle. Right. So if you can stage just those rooms, the rest of it, they can visualize.
Speaking of lifestyles, it's going to be nice here in Michigan soon.
Yes, I know.
Do you manage like virtual staging for outdoor spaces, landscaping, stuff like that?
Yeah, I do. A lot of homeowners are thinking about, how do we live outdoors? And depending on how much patio space you have, you could create 2 or 3 areas for living. So you could have an area where you're lounging, maybe just a couple of chase lounges, and then more of a gathering area where you have a sofa and a couple of chairs, and these are outdoor pieces, so they're smaller. You could also have a fire pit in the middle if there's enough space to do that. And then you might want a dining space, that might be right outside of your kitchen area. So there's so many things that you can do with outdoor spaces to show how to live inside and out. And that's fun. It's fun to do that.
Yeah. I have a question, kind of a two-part is when it comes to, for the virtual staging, do you have a digital catalog that you use? And then for physical staging, you have a warehouse of furniture, or you work with a rental company? How do you handle both of those?
For virtual staging, the software has those pieces, and they do update, furniture pieces within the software, and you want that. Much like creating a virtual illusion behind you, you want to make sure that it doesn't look like a caricature. You want it to look as real as possible. So most of the pieces that are used, at least from the partner that I work with, they look pretty good. I mean, I've had customers say to me, "Can I buy that furniture?" And I said, "No, I'm sorry. It's really just for display." If you think about walking through a store and it's just display, that's what it is. It's to create that buying signal and show you how that space can be used, with furniture. Now, on the other side, for physical staging, when you're bringing in furniture pieces, I used to have a warehouse of furniture. And I decided I didn't want to be in the furniture rental business, because that's what you're doing when you have a lot of furniture pieces. I do still have some accessories though, lamps and rugs and other small pieces to fill small spaces, right? Towels and things like that. And it's helpful to have those because you don't want to rent everything from an outside source. It really becomes too expensive. Sure. But I do use a couple of furniture rental places that have, that I've worked with over time. And I'll just order pieces that I like that fit into the space. And then I augment that. I bring in the other pieces to fill it out. And remember, in staging, less is more. So you do not have to fill every space, every wall with an piece of art or a furniture piece. In fact, you want it to appear and feel larger when you're on the market.
There's a fine line between just the right and too much clutter, right? Getting in your own way with that.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
So what's a virtual home staging consultation like? How does that work?
Okay, so virtual staging, of course, is what we've been talking about. It's using software to place furniture in a room, and that's an online impression. That's what you're seeing online. A virtual home staging consultation is meeting with an agent and an owner and literally walking through that property with them online. Okay, so now that I'm remote and I no longer live in Michigan, I still have contacts in Michigan and several agents in a few of the offices that know that I've staged and have gone through my classes. And so they'll come back to me and say, you know, I've got an owner, they really don't want to invest in full-blown staging. Maybe they already have furniture or they're willing to rent some furniture pieces. And so I'll meet with them and we'll literally walk through their home, like FaceTime. We'll use FaceTime or Zoom online. And I create a report and make suggestions to them of things that they can do to prepare their home for the market. And most of them are willing to do that. Sometimes it's just a little tweaking if it's already furnished. It could be removing items. Tom talked about decluttering, you know, removing those personal pieces that show how much you love your home, but really doesn't assist the purchaser in feeling comfortable with purchasing the home. Right. So once we tweak some of those areas, then it's awesome. You know, it's like a night and day view, and homes tend to sell faster. So I love doing that because I'm still helping, but I'm not physically there to do the work. The owner is willing to do that work, and or the agent is very helpful.
I keep going back to this, but just looking at these large homes where they have a lot of different rooms and it's vacant, I think this is a perfect, you know, the virtual staging, you know, is perfect for that, giving it some kind of connection. So I think that's a great opportunity, especially in that higher end. Now you brought some photos, some before and after photos, and let me put those on the screens and you can walk us through them. All right, here we are. First one, it's exactly what I was talking about last night. I think it's a dining room, I'm guessing. And then, so you come in and voila, it doesn't even look like the same house. What did you do here?
Well, this was a really nice home and about 380 or so. And it is one story. It is owned by a realtor who said, you know what, I understand the benefits of staging and I want your opinion on what I need to do to get the maximum value that I can. He had already moved out of it to another state. So before, you could see that it was an older light fixture and it may not have been painted at that point. So it was more of a creamy color, creamy wall color. We changed it to kind of we call it greige, you know, it's a gray beige combination. Okay. So I helped him select a paint color, new light fixtures, and then all of the furniture and accessories you see are either rented from a rental company or I own them. Okay. So the artwork, the lamps, the accessories on the table, and the rug I own. I brought in the table and chairs.
You know, and then
there's an behind it.
It's amazing because I didn't even really notice the archway, the entryway there until the staged room. It just, whatever you did, it really just like made it pop.
Pull it together. And you know, the other thing about this space, you walk into this space from the left of this picture. So you're coming into the home and this is the first room that you see, right? So you want to really capture their attention here. And that's how I convinced him that not only should we stage it, but we should replace the light fixtures. So he did this light fixture and 2 in the kitchen as well. So now as you walk through, you have that same look and feel, you know, very modern, but yet, you know, it has a soft look to it as well.
Right, right. Let's go to the next room. We have the blah living room, and now we go here and voila, same furniture, right? That's all the same furniture.
Yeah, same furniture. Yep. We actually brought that furniture in. This was a vacant home, and it was a home that I staged in Detroit for one of my classes.
Okay.
So I did a class. I had probably 5 students. We met, brought in this furniture. Another stager friend of mine, I used her furniture instead of renting furniture from a furniture company. And so we brought in the accessories and we talked about building the room. So in this instance, to the left, if you're thinking about this picture, the entrance, the foyer is there with hardwood flooring. And the walls, of course, were already a neutral gray, which is very popular now. So we just built on that, you know, with your silver and a little bit of the bronze color, and we added some wood accents to it. And then it just came together, just creating sort of a lifestyle look. You know, this is how you can live in this space. And we were excited about it. We thought it turned out great, and it was a lot of fun to work with the students there.
Yeah, just all the little accent items. Like you said, it's the right amount. It's not too much where it's clutter, but it jazzes it up a bit. And
right.
That's really nice. Now we're going to go to the single guy bedroom.
Yeah. So again, the walls are gray, right? Which is popular. And then you get the builder's grade, you know, beige carpet, which comes almost with every model. So how do we jazz that up and make it nice? Now, this is just all that the owner had, but they did leave that for us. So we then added artwork. We added a throw, added a few more pillows, something over the bed. And then of course, tying to the artwork on the wall with adding that accent of that kind of a royal blue shade, which is very pretty right now. It looks great on a really bright white, and then still blending that gray in so there's consistency. We added lamps too. So whatever you can do to add just a few touches that make it look warm and inviting, that's what we wanted to accomplish.
You know, I can't help but notice in all these too, the angle of the photo and the quality of the photo is different. I think makes all the difference, because here it looks like not even the same color carpeting, but better lighting, better camera, and then the better angle where you step back a little bit, and now the room looks bigger.
Right.
You know,
exactly. Yep. Exactly. That's our goal, is to, you know, pay close attention to how we're taking the picture that is going to show up in MLS. Not that we want to, you know, mislead anyone into thinking it's a larger room than it is, but you want to show the room in its best light. So just stepping back 2 steps, we're still in the room. We're not outside of the room, but we're all the way across from the room.
2 steps back and on an angle, like 2 back and 2 to the right. And yeah, that's amazing. That's really good. That helps kind of make the connection on what you provide, you know, what the service you provide. Yeah. Can you tell me about the training classes you offer? You mentioned did that for a class?
Yeah, I've gone completely virtual now. Now I'm in Florida, so I will add a day to go into a property. So basically my program is 2 full days and a half. And that most of it is online. So I'm going through a program. It's a PowerPoint presentation. It's interactive. There's some homework associated with it. There are pictures. I added some videos. We look at some YouTube information because I want them to have really good resources to go to. And then there's a short quiz at the end. If I'm local, if I'm in Detroit and I'm doing the class, I'm looking for a property that I can use, something that's on the market that might need, like you said, that higher end property that's not moving. I'm looking for that property. And if the homeowner is willing, you know, then we look for furniture for that day, and we'll complete a design in about 6 hours or so, and we'll do maybe 2 or 3 rooms, okay? If I'm local here, I do the same thing. I'll start it online. We'll do the first part, and then we'll end that last day doing the design. So they're putting all of the design principles together, and they're implementing that process so they can see how to judge space, how to create walkways. The best part about staging or designing, redesigning, is you're trying what doesn't work because it leads you to what does. So when you think about moving that sofa in the room, you know that there are probably 4 ways that you can place the sofa in the room, but it's not going to be complementary to that space. So what's fun in teaching is you have an opportunity to try those different ways, and then it leads you to, you know, the best furniture placement for that furniture piece. And then you start with your bigger pieces and then slowly work your way to accessories. Okay. So your sofa, your chairs, you know, your rug, then bringing in your tables, bringing in your lamps, and then your smaller accessories, ending with your artwork, which should really relate to your furniture pieces. And it should be at eye level, not looking so high up. So you're sitting down, but you're looking at furniture pieces so high, you know, you get a little cramp in your neck if you're really taking time.
Unless you're 7 feet tall, then you might.
There you go. Yeah.
Like the Elsies.
Yeah, unless you're an Elsie.
then it might be a little bit higher in that case. Yeah.
That's funny. Well, I tell you, when I go to sell my house, I definitely would do a walkthrough with you on FaceTime and tell me what we get rid of.
Me too.
I'm happy to do it. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
Well, that's just it. I think that's something that you're definitely passionate about, and it doesn't feel like work, right? You're like, I can't believe I'm getting paid to do this, right?
Exactly. You know, when I managed offices, Tom, I wanted to bring to the office something a little bit different, a marketing tool that agents could use, you know, and that was when staging was just emerging, you know, in the area, becoming popular way before Joanna Gaines and HGTV just exploded, right? And the same principles are here today. Agents are looking for the best tools that they can use to offer the best service, right? So that's why it's still alive. And I think that's why NAR sees it favorably, and they look at it as a tool that agents can use, and they offer statistics. So it's more information that you can share with an owner to encourage them to utilize the service.
Yeah, great. It's great information. But now it's time for our up close from a distance segment.
Okay.
This is where we take a minute to get to know you a little better while maintaining our social distance. And we're about 1,200 miles away. So I think So I'm going to ask you 10 questions, and I need the first answer that comes to mind, and you have 60 seconds. Are you ready? All right.
Okay, I'll give it my best.
What's worse, summers in Florida or winters in Michigan?
I would say winters in Michigan.
Okay.
And you know I love Michigan. But winters, oh my gosh. In the summer, I can jump in the pool.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
What's the first concert you attended?
Earth, Wind, and Fire with my hubby.
Oh, that would have been great.
Well, actually, it was Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 with my mom.
Okay.
That was the first concert. But the more memorable one was the one with my hubby. Yeah.
I got to believe both of them would be pretty memorable.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
What was your first job as a teenager?
I was a waitress at Woolworth's downtown Detroit.
Right. Yeah.
So 2 buses to get there. And I had my own bay, and I had to cook, serve, and clean it up, wash the dishes.
Wow.
Is that like a countertop? You know, like okay.
Yeah. I had my own counter. I think it might have had 8, stools.
Yeah. Well, we'll give a moment for our millennials to Google what is Woolworth.
It's a 5 and dime store, right? Like Kresge's or Kmart now.
Yeah, 5 and dime is now a dollar store or 5.
It's not a woolly mammoth.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you prefer dogs, cats, or no pets allowed?
Oh, I love dogs. I grew up with them. Yeah. Unfortunately, my daughter's highly allergic, and so is one of my grandchildren. So we don't have a dog now, but I love dogs.
Yeah. Ideal vacation spot for you and your hubby?
Our favorite place is Negril in Jamaica. That's our favorite place.
That sounds good. And so while you're in Jamaica and you're able to splurge because you're on vacation, what's your favorite dessert?
Oh my goodness, there's so much there. Okay, so I'll have to then go to our second vacation place, which is Cancun, where I love key lime pie. Okay, and that, because now I'm in Florida, it used to be apple pie is my favorite, of course, and I make a really good apple pie. But since I've been down here, I've really learned to love that, sweet, sour taste of key lime pie.
That's cool. How many cups of coffee do you drink a day?
Usually just 1 good cup, but I'm sipping it all day. It's cold.
I don't know
black.
how people can do that.
It doesn't make sense, but I still have the rest of my coffee right now.
My mom will do, she'll take 3 hours to drink a cup of coffee. It's horrible, but I don't get that.
Well, listen, now, you can buy, what is it, cold coffee now. It's a latte or whatever. Mine is just basic,
It's not even the same drink you started with.
Exactly.
Who was your first celebrity crush?
Oh, I would say Michael Jackson, probably, yeah. Uh-huh.
And then when channel surfing, what movie makes you put down the remote?
Makes me put down the remote?
So you're channel surfing, all of a sudden you come across a great movie that you got to.
Oh, I have to look at it?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, well, anything with Denzel Washington would be great.
Me too. I love him.
Oh yeah.
And then last question, your favorite childhood TV show?
I Love Lucy.
Ah,
and I
Mine
know that sounds
too.
crazy, but it's so silly because of course everything was silly, right?
yes.
But the trouble she used to get herself into and the way she got out of it, I mean, it was just amazing to me. And she was just a wonderful comedian.
Classic comedic actress.
Yeah.
And when she would do that, he'd go, Lucy, you got some splaining to do. And she'd do
Exactly.
oh,
really, and then her eyes would go, turn, and she was so expressive. And
classic timeless comedy, I think. Well,
yeah, exactly.
Well, hey, you got 10 for 10, so you win our home version of the game.
Oh, great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
If any of our viewers are interested in learning more about home staging or taking classes, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, you can go to Diane, and that's DIANE at InStyle Home Interiors.com. You can reach me there, or 734-777-8092. I still have a Detroit number.
Yeah, I see.
Or 813-778-2554. That's my Florida number.
All right, great. Well, that's our show for this week. And thank you again, Diane, for being our guest. And it's great seeing you again.
Thank you. It's wonderful to see you both. I miss you all of my REO peeps.
We miss you too. Also, a thank you to our sponsor, Capital Title, for making this possible. And to our viewers, hang on for a few seconds and you can view our humorous meme of the week. And we hope to see you next time in the closing room.